Hello everybody. In this short video I'm going to tell you briefly about the pros and cons of living in Brazil. Well, the pros are simple, that the social contact is easier to come by. I don't know anybody who feels socially isolated in Brazil, even if they don't know any Portuguese. The second advantage as an American expat is that everything is cheaper. Brazil has a very low cost of living. And the third advantage is that the Brazilian bureaucracy, well, convoluted, it's actually pretty straightforward when compared to a lot of European countries, or even some of the Latin American countries like Chile. Chile has a lot of German cultural influence, and bureaucracy is rigid and legalistic. For example, as an American, if you go to Chile, you have to pay $160 as an entry fee. That's right. So why are they doing this? Chileans need a visa to go to the US. Now, they don't want to impose a visa requirement on Americans. So what are they doing? They're asking Americans to pay an entry fee of $160. Now, that is unthinkable in Brazil. Okay, so let's talk about some of the cons now. The main con is that there are some cultural differences. Brazil has a different cultural background than most of the Spanish-speaking countries. They speak Portuguese here, and the Portuguese language is a bit more difficult to learn than Spanish. Also, most of the other Latin American countries, such as Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, or even Colombia, they have a lot of European cultural influence in the Spanish-speaking world. In Brazil, this is really difficult to find. Brazil is so much more independent of Portugal than Argentina, say, or Chile is from Spain, and I mean culturally speaking. However, you can still have the best of both worlds if you go south all the way down to Santa Catarina. This is the part of Brazil that has been influenced by European cultural values the most. Okay, so cultural differences is one problem. Another essential problem is instability. Political instability and crime. Rio de Janeiro is terrible. This is the last place you want to go to. Too much crime. Salvador de Bahia, forget about it. Northeast, skip it. Go all the way south to Santa Catarina. There you're going to find a safe place to be. Every rule has an exception. You know that Brazil generally is not safe, but the state of Santa Catarina is safe. Look up Florianopolis. You will find a fairly safe, large city there, by Latin American standards anyway, but as far as the overall crime rates go, it's about as dangerous as Barcelona. But so if you want an even safer place, go to Itapema, Balneário Camboriú, especially Balneário Camboriú or Blumenau, if you don't mind going inland. This is a wonderful German town. Lots of German influence, Oktoberfest, German architecture and food, and if you want to be even safer and you want an authentic European experience, go to a city called Pomerode, Pomerode. Okay, so that's about it for the safety issues in Brazil. Most of it is not safe, but Santa Catarina is safe, especially if you go to Blumenau or Pomerode. Just Google German towns in Brazil and you'll see what I'm talking about. In fact, I am in a German cafe right now. Yeah, you've seen it. This is a German place, German owner. Now, this is Brazil. German flags, the whole place is German dishes. Oh, you can solve that safety problem with no issues whatsoever. And finally, the last con, of course, is noise pollution. There is just too much noise here everywhere, even in the most civilized places in Brazil, minus Pomerode. Like I am in Balneário Camboriú, what they call the Brazilian Dubai, and when a motorcycle passes by 3 blocks away, I feel like it's literally riding on top of my head. It's the next thing you know, somebody will ride their Ferrari a mile away and I somehow still hear it. People like to talk loudly, people like to interrupt each other, you know, and they think they're being friendly. They're usually not doing this out of a place of bad intentions. So the 3 cons are safety, too much noise, too much chaos, different culture. Culture is very different from what you're used to in the US or Europe. But I think you can mitigate all of these cons by going to Santa Catarina. Here you get the best of Brazil without all of its cons. Here in Santa Catarina it's safe, It's much more orderly than in most of Brazil, and the cultural differences are not as extreme. And the pros, as you remember, it's a low cost of living, and people are very approachable, and the bureaucracy is tolerable. Especially if you want to compare bureaucracy, the immigration procedures to the United States or a place like Spain or Portugal. Trust me, guys, I've been through the Brazilian bureaucracy is not easy. I got my papers, but I'll tell you something, however hard it may have been, it is so much easier and more streamlined than all the crap that Brazilian immigrants have to go through to get their green card in the US, or what they'd have to go through to become a resident in Spain, or even Portugal for that matter, which is traditionally been a pretty easy place for Brazilians to immigrate to. Here, if you're an American or Canadian citizen, you will have to deal with some bureaucratic backlog, some incompetence, some confusion, some chaos, but you're gonna get your papers, your residential privileges so much easier than you'd expect. All right, that's it for now. I look forward to talking with you again soon.